So the first one being is my favorite, and that's Purple Island. It's 1 hour drive from Doha city. It's accessible by any car. There's a lot of parking space, so you don't have to worry about that. If you're asking me, is there a bus service? Yes, there is a bus service called Karwa, and you have to take 102 and 102X. So these are the 2 buses which goes to Al-Khor Industrial area. Just tell the driver I want to get down in Shaniya. So it's around 2 to 2.5 hours bus journey from Doha city, and from there you can take a local taxi which will take you to Purple Island, and it's around like 15 minutes drive from Al-Khor Industrial area to Purple Island. Keep in mind that there is no Uber available. Ask the driver to drop you there, take his number and let him know that you're gonna be needing a taxi in the morning once you finish camping there. And if he is not available, ask him that if any of his friends who are driving taxi can pick them up. So in that way, you will be sorted. Nearby Purple Island, there is no taxi available. I will leave the location and the route map in the description. Yes, you can camp here and there are no restrictions. You don't need any permission, and there are accommodations available. So these are the 2 operators there who will provide you accommodation if you want, but you have to do a pre-booking. And once you reach there, you will see a wooden bridge. So it might take you like 10 minutes walk or 15 minutes walk. After the bridge, a lush green mangrove forest. The views are amazing from that spot. You will see a lot of fossil rock right there. And these operators also provide you water sports like kayaking, and dogs are allowed on Purple Island. If you are traveling by your own car, it should not cost you more than 100 riyals. If you're traveling by bus and taking taxi, it should cost you around 150 to 200. And if you are booking a stay there and doing water sports, it might cost you around 400 to 500, and you will have a great time there. It's very hard to find shade there, but if you walk until the end of the island, you will find a cool place to sit there like this one. Break. You will see mangrove forest and lush greenery all around. Small pools of fishes, crabs, and if you're lucky, you might see flamingos as well. During 11th and 20th century, there was a purple dye industry on that island, which used to color the fabric, and the color was purple. So that's why they call it Purple Island. So be sure that when you're choosing a camping spot, see the water marks, because the water usually rises like 1 to 1.5 meters. So if you're camping nearby the water, just make sure that you are like at least 3 meters away from the shore, because every 6 hours you will have a tide which will rise the water level, and if you're camping too close to the water, you might get flooded. You know what I'm saying? So if you're getting value out of this video so far, so make sure you hit that like button. First, subscribe to the channel and be a part of this Warriors family. Alright, the next one on the list is Sealine Beach. Sealine Beach is a 40 minutes drive from Doha city. It is the closest one and very easy to reach, and it's also accessible by pretty much any car. If you want to drive on the dunes, or if you want to drive in the desert, get an off-roader so that you can go on the top of the dunes and do crazy stuff. But I recommend it's good you take an off-roader or rent an off-roader, because you can drive further deep into the desert. That will take you away from the crowd and you can enjoy your privacy. And at the same time, if you drive even further, you can reach Inland Sea, which is, I believe, one of the awesome place I have not visited yet, but I'm sure if I did, I would leave the link right above here. Definitely, you will have a great time there. There is no bus service available, so you have to book a taxi, and while coming back, I will leave these 2 guys' numbers here, so you can call these guys, and if they are not available, they will send one of their friends who drive taxi. So save these numbers or take a screenshot so that when you are there, you don't have problems with transport. The camping is allowed on this island. You can camp anywhere you like. There are a lot of stuff to do on the island, a lot of accommodations, a lot of good and luxury hotels as well, depending on your budget. And there are a lot of things to do, stuff like desert safari, quad biking, camel riding, jet ski. There are a lot of stuff, man. If you're booking anything, just do it a week before you go so that you know that you are reserved. So if you're traveling by car, it will not cost you more than 100 riyal, and if you're doing stuff like quad biking or safari, then your budget might go higher. If you're traveling by taxi, it might cost you 100 to 150. A lot of accommodation available, so I think within 500 you can get a good one with a good cuisine as well. And the best thing about Sealine Beach is the sunset and sunrise are both epic on this place. I mean, check out this, man. You can't beat these views. So if you're going there, make sure either you catch the sunrise or you catch the sunset. So now let's talk about Zakreet Eye Rock Formation. So for Zakreet, yes, you can take any car, very much accessible. It's around 1.5 hour drive by car, and if you're taking bus, 3 hours drive. You take 104 bus, you have to get down at Cuban Hospital. So you don't need taxi, you don't need anything. From Cuban Hospital, you have to hike at least 2 kilometers and you will reach the spot. And these buses starts from Al Ghanim bus station. You can find a bus stop in Mashrib, you can find a bus stop in Doha, and you can find a bus stop pretty much all the location nearby the city. I will leave the hiking route and the camping spot in the description as well. There is no local taxi available and there is no Uber available. Before you go, make sure you know the bus timings. To recharge my bus card, I always go to Al Ghanim bus station because that's the start point for all the buses. Yes, camping is allowed here. Your dogs are allowed here. So if you have an off-roader, you can actually drive deep further into Zakreet. Limestone structures like this, and they are all around the Zakreet area. Definitely you will see some stunning views. Well, let's talk about the budget. If you are driving by your own car, it should not cost you more than 100, and if you are taking bus, it should cost you around 50. By bus, it should cost you less than 50 riyals, and if you are camping, that will be around 50 to 100. So now let's talk about what to expect. Camp next to one of these rocks or one of these limestone structures, and even if the winds get too strong, you are still safe because these limestone mountains will help cut that wind. You might see some fences around. This is to protect the oryx wildlife. Storms. And if you are ready for just check out this place. You have to hike at least 6 kilometers to get to this spot, and if you have car, it's very easy to drive there. But this place is really cool. I've been to Zakreet maybe like 4 times, and that's how much I love Zakreet. This is just an awesome feeling. Wow. All right, now let's talk about one of the unique places I have camped, and that is Ghost Town or Al-Jumail. Yes, this is 120 kilometer ride from Doha city, and it's accessible by any car. There is a lot of parking space available, and there is a bus service as well. You can take 101 from Al Ghanim bus station, which will drop you at Al Ruwais, and you have to take a taxi and he will drop you there. It's around like 15 minutes drive from Al Ruwais to Al Jumail. You might have to hike like 500 to 600 meters and you are in Ghost Town. So again, you have to do the same thing. Take the driver's number and let him know that you will call him once you are done, because there is no taxi service available. You might ask lift. We did, and we got lift last time. During summer, it's very hot, and even to stand outside for 10 to 15 minutes, it gets really hot. So make sure you take the driver's number and ask him to pick you up once you are done. Camping and stay options. Yes, there is camping allowed, and you can camp anywhere you like. Make sure you camp next to a wall because the winds are strong. There are no accommodations available nearby, so you are on your own. If you need any help, just ask any of the locals who are visiting there and they will help you. The dogs are allowed at this spot as well. If you're traveling by your own car, it should not cost you more than 100. If you are traveling by bus, it will cost you around 50 to 100. And if you're just visiting, it might cost you maybe less than 50 riyals. You have a good sleeping bag because it's very cold that night and I was struggling to sleep. So make sure you have a good sleeping bag, a warm hoodie or a jacket, and a good tent. Let's talk about what to expect from this place. So the reason why they call Ghost Town is not because there are ghosts here, because nobody lives here, so that's why they call it Ghost Town. But the real name of this place is Al Jumail. It was once pearling and fishing village. It was inhabited by the Al-Qubaisi family. You will see a lot of houses. Some are in good condition and some are destroyed by the weather and wind. So be careful while entering any of these houses and make sure it's safe before you go in. You will also see a mosque and this minaret. It is safe to climb up. There is a lot of firewood available here. There are no shops around, and buy everything you need in Al Ruwais. Alright, so now the last one on the list, and that is Al-ZUBARA Fort. So again, this is 110-kilometer ride from Doha city and it's accessible by any car. And yes, there is a bus service available to this place, and you take bus number 100. It will drop you right in front of Al-ZUBARA Fort. The bus is available only like every 3 hours. So before you go, just confirm the timings of the bus, because if you are not camping, you might get stuck there and you have to ask lift, or you have to reach Al Ruwais, and from there you will get transport back to Doha. And one good thing about this Al-ZUBARA Fort is there are toilet facilities available next to the fort. These are the remote areas of Qatar, so the roads are not in that great condition. Just a heads up that the roads are not in good condition. Yes, camping is allowed at Al-ZUBARA Fort, but you have to camp outside the boundaries of the fort. So you will see a lot of fencing around. You go around the fence nearby the sea and you can camp there. This is where we camped. Maybe around like 1 kilometer hike, find a lot of space to camp, and you don't need any permission as well. And there are no staying options available here, and there are no accommodations, so you are on your own. There is no taxi services available here, and also there are no local taxis available here, so make sure you know the bus timings before you leave. And as far as I remember, it's every 3 hours, but still, if you hop on a bus, ask the driver what's the next bus timing so that you can take that bus back to Doha. Alright, so if you're traveling by your own car, that should cost you less than 100 riyals. And if you're traveling by bus, it will cost you around 50 to 100 riyals. And if you're just visiting, it will cost you less than 50 riyals. And I will leave the camping spot and the route map in the description as well. Zubara Fort is a historic Qatari military fortress built under oversight of Sheikh Abdullah bin Jassim Al Thani in 1938. The Zubara archaeological site provides an important insight into urban life before the discovery of oil and gas in 20th century. This is also a Qatar's largest archaeological site. The one interesting factor about this archaeological site is the whole city is covered under the sand, which is pretty interesting, and there's a lot of discoveries happening, and still they are working every day and they're finding something new. So if you are there, make sure you visit the site. Trust me, you will be amused by the things you will see there. It also have a small museum which will take you back in history and the things they used to live with. There's no firewood available here, so bring your own firewood or a small camping stove like this, and there are no shops around, so bring enough food and snack. The best time to visit these places are from November till March. So this is the winter time in Qatar. Make sure if you are camping, you are doing it within these months, November to March. Other than that, it will be very risky and it's not recommended, because definitely very hot compared to any of the Middle East I have been to. So if you are camping, bring a waterproof tent, comfortable clothing, swimming clothes if you want to swim, fishing gear if you love fishing, a cooking stove. For firewood, you can go around the island and collect firewood, and got a lot of dry wood, so you can do that. If not, you can carry your own wood, which you can buy in Carrefour or any supermarket nowadays. You can buy firewood. Bring ready to eat food, a lot of snacks, and bring at least 3 liters of water for each person. Bring a cap, sun hat, and if you're visiting this place in summer, make sure you bring an umbrella or your own shade. Wear durable and comfortable shoes. Bring a torch. Bring your sanitary items like wet wipes or alcohol wipes. And you also need a sleeping bag and a warm hoodie or a jacket, because these places gets really cold in the night. If you want to really see the beauty of these places, go on non-weekend days and you will see a much different landscape than a landscape filled with crowd. Between Sunday and Wednesday would be a great time to visit all these places. The reason why I made this video is because there is a lot to explore in Qatar, and there are a lot of places, and I promise you a lot of adventures coming your way. And if you're watching the video until here, damn, you are a legend. Make sure you hit that like button first and subscribe to the channel. Be a part of Warriors family. So if you have loved this video, I'm sure you're gonna love this video as well, and I will see you there.